Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another E&M podcast. Where this week we're gonna have a special guest, but we're gonna break into the intro first and get right back with you guys.
Let me do it for you. Baby, the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I mean the floor is yours. If it come down to the floor is yours. Let me show you how I prove the floor is yours. 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 The floor, yeah, the floor is yours. Now it's my turn to tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the E&M podcast on this Wednesday evening. You know me, I'm Terrence Williams, the Superman of real estate. Got my man Flex, the producer, and Ashley Chalk, the credit goddess. And tonight we bring to y'all a VIP guest, man, that's in the insurance industry. Man, I'm talking about top notch brother, got his own agency. He's gonna go over some things tonight, give y'all some good information, some tips that y'all can use. But I'm gonna pass the mic to him and let him just introduce himself. Mr. Rodney Blackstock, man, let us introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, man, and what's going on with
Appreciate it, Terrence.
you. Yes, sir.
Rodney Blackstock Insurance Agency at AAA here in Atlanta, Georgia. Been in the insurance business 6+ years. I write everything from auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, and different type of life insurance policies. I do commercial policies. I do businesses. Um, I mean, it goes on. Umbrellas. The list goes on. So. Tonight I'm gonna talk about you and I talked, Terrence, about an index life policy, index universal life policy. So I'll talk about that a little bit more when we tap into it and explain the advantages of it and uh, the way that you can legally double dip. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's major, man, because uh Rodney, I know when you last time we did a podcast last year,
mhm,
you was only in certain states, but now, man, I think it's really major to me because you're now in Texas, right?
absolutely. Just got licensed in Texas 2 weeks ago.
Oh man, that's major, man. I got it. So I got some guys, man, with truck companies, especially everybody need insurance and life insurance and all that stuff. But I know that's something that you can cover as well, correct? Like guys doing, they have their own diesels, their hot shots. You can
Yeah.
cover those guys as well at pretty good rates.
We can cover that. Anything from logistics. I mean, now a lot of people are even doing toll road type situations. So when they're renting their cars out, so
Wow.
we can cover that. I have brokers that cover that part as well for people who say, "Hey, I got a slingshot on toll road. Like I need some coverage, some liability coverage for that, or I'm putting my cars on toll road and I need some protection for that too as well." So.
So with that being said, Rodney, how does that work? Because I know when I went on Turo, because I was considering doing that as well. I haven't done so yet, but I was considering it. But I every time you go on there and look, it shows mutual, insurance to be like their, I guess, preferred
Yeah.
insurance company that they use.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, when they're putting it out there, I mean, no knock on them. They're getting a kickback when they
Right.
refer somebody for them to use. But you also can shop around outside. It's kind of like when people do Uber and Lyft, right? You got to
Hmm.
have a particular type of coverage with your vehicle added on to your insurance policy to be able to haul other people around. Even though Uber and Lyft offer their own type of insurance, but you also have to get a different type of coverage outside of that as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I got a
Cool.
question on that. I got real elbows with a lot of people who have their own LLCs, and I
hmm
know LLC provides some kind of protection. Do
hmm
you go in behind and kind of supplement that or give
Yeah,
additional?
you want to get a general liability. So you want to get that type of insurance, some liability insurance. You get that, and then on top of the LLC, like you get the workers' comp, you get the errors and omissions as well. That's important as well to have. And then the umbrella policy, which will cover you $1 million, $2 million umbrella policy if you got a business, if you in the financial market, real estate, whatever have you. It also gives you that extra protection because sometimes even if you have an LLC and you have an auto policy, you could carry so many limits, but that extra coverage give you $1 million, $2 million. Say somebody try to slander you, somebody hit you because they know who you are. You guys have a top notch podcast, so you're all over the airwaves. So they see you ride down the street and they might do something to where you can tap them or hit their bumper, and they're like, "Oh, I'm suing you because of this." That umbrella coverage, it pays for like lawyer fees, and everything else that comes to the forefront that you might need as far as protection.
Oh, cool, man. That's good information to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question right here. The information you was talking about earlier, is that a fleet style? Is that fleet style coverage?
For logistics,
Yeah.
like trucks, for trucks.
Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about. He was talking about
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
trucks.
So yeah, commercial policy. Yep, yep, yep. So it'd be a commercial auto policy. Auto
Gotcha.
policy. Yeah.
Gotcha.
What would be the minimum on that you would have to be covered for? You know how
You
there's
got $1 million.
okay,
Yeah. So that's the minimum, but you want to have more.
okay.
Yeah. So you figure like everything that happens on the road with 18 wheelers, drivers, the drivers can only, drive for so amount of time, a period of time while they're on the road before they have to stop, take a break, stuff like that. And then if you got a box truck or if you got Amazon, if you got a contract with Amazon, you might have two drivers to rotate, a certain amount of miles or a certain amount of hours and stuff like that. But you want to make sure you have your insurance coverage top notch to protect you just in case anything happens.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
have a question. On average, what's the turnaround time frame to get a policy after
Ah,
signing?
you can quote a policy running maybe 24 hours. For the bigger fleets, the logistics about that time. Liability insurance for like restaurants, juice spots, businesses, commercial. I mean, you can get that in 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at max. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Oh,
there's a follow up question right there. Said he was asking for Turo vehicles.
The coverage.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you would get the coverage. You would get the policy protection for Turo, general liability. You'll get a liability protection for the Turo because you're essentially renting your cars out, right? So you would get that protection. But if you was driving your car and you had a Lyft or Uber situation, you get an extra added coverage on top of your policy. So with us, it's called total TRC, total replacement cost. So if something happens, you have that extra coverage. So
So is that Rodney? Is that policy still a minimum $1 million to do that?
oh nah,
Or is that different for
no, no,
the?
no. That's for the trucks. That's
Okay.
for the trucks. Yeah, that's for the trucks.
So what? So do they have a minimum when you doing this
Nah,
Turo type of deal?
uh-uh.
Okay.
It's the protection, the extra
Okay,
protection.
it's just the protection. Cause
Yeah.
see, and I've heard different things about that because I thought somebody told me like if you running it, if you drive, okay, just say for instance, like if you driving your own car, right?
Mhm.
But you leasing, renting out doing Turo,
Yeah.
and then you have to add this extended policy to it, but it
Yeah.
has to be now. Does that has to be a commercial policy
For
insurance?
the the Turo,
Right.
no, because it's not a commercial like the trucks, all that. That's commercial policy. You're doing contracts. It's essential like a rental car. Like so, say you're going to rent a car from Enterprise or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And they ask you, hey, we got our insurance. Do you want to pick our insurance? Or you want to use your own insurance? So it's essentially that Turo is basically you're just a single man rental car service, right?
Yeah.
But you probably renting luxury cars out or gas efficient cars and stuff like that that's already got insurance on it. So your car
Okay.
already has insurance on it. So now you having that piece of protection, right? that
Hmm.
somebody else is in it. So if something else happens, general liability, you want the like you would want a nice amount of coverage. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing that, because say somebody get in an accident, say your car get damaged, right? I have a friend of mine who rented their car out on tour road, right?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
people vandalized it, like the car got like vandalized, one got stolen, and yeah, so without the proper coverage, you take a L because now you wasn't in the vehicle if you just had it on tour road and had your own vehicle insurance and no extra coverage. You can't file a claim.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So
Right.
how do you get that car, that value of that car, how do you get made whole again? You can't.
Mm.
That's important, that extra insurance in there, that general liability, that protection.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
good. Hey, I got a question before we move on from that. I know different states have different rules that govern insurance. Um, with a lot of the rain that we're getting lately, you hear that in some states, and there may be all states. If you don't specifically ask for flood insurance,
Flood insurance, yeah.
yeah, that you get caught out there, and now you have no protection. Is that
Yeah,
true of all states or some states?
yeah. So I get emails all the time about getting flood insurance license to be able to sell flood insurance. I don't particularly sell it, but I might, because of Texas and a lot of other states that get like Houston, you see what happened when it rained there. But it's true, man. Even on the coast here in Savannah and stuff like that, like homeowners are they have to get flood insurance. Like some homes we won't insure if it's too close to the coast, like down in Florida or down here in Savannah, like I said. So yeah, like you don't want to get caught out there, without it if you're in that area where something's subject to happen.
Yeah,
So that's important. Like, you know,
but it is separate from just a regular
it's
policy.
separate.
Like if you
It's
don't ask
separate
for it,
from it's a whole
yeah,
separate entity. Yeah, it's
got you.
totally different. Yeah, it's its own policy.
Quick question. Because I do credit, should clients expect a hard or a soft pull?
It's a soft pull, but I will say this though. When even with just auto insurance, when people say, "Oh, why is my um like quote so high? Why is it high?" Or these are the factors that go into play when you're doing an auto quote. So they got a current insurance score, CIS. You know what I mean? And it's usually TransUnion who provides them with the score of your credit. But the way it goes is it's not based off your credit, like the other credit, the FICO with the houses and everything. This one is based solely on like insurance, meaning that all right, you've had insurance for 3 years, and for all 3 years you were late on all your payments, or your policy canceled or something like that. Boom, that lowers your score. All right, you got a ticket in the last 3 years. It might have been a minor charge. Boom, that lowers your score. Oh, you had a claim, whether it was an at fault or a fault accident or somebody else who did it, but you was in the car. They boom, that hits your score. So now it's like, all right, you got a low CIS score that's probably a 450, you know, and then you got a ticket, which is even if it's a minor, and then you have an at fault, right? And then you only had 25, 50 limits. You had to low the bare minimum. That's not good. So then when you run the quote and it come back and it says probably $400 or $500 or and for one car or three something for one car when normally it should be $100 to maybe 190, 180, 190 or 200 at best. And then you're wondering why it's that high. Like this did a quote, earlier it was 690, $500 deductible, but they had, a major violation and then or a minor violation and they had a couple of claims. So, and every insurance company is different the way they decide if they want to insure the vehicle, if it's a risk, a high risk or not. So they might be also paying 250. If they come over to my agency, AAA, we're gonna charge them 690 because we don't want that type of person on the book. You want good quality. It's like if you're selling houses, like you want good people. You fixing credit. You want to take good people who are gonna be responsible for making their own time payments, getting the paperwork that needs to be done, getting it to you, getting it back. You know what I'm saying? Keeping their credit utilization low. Those are the type of people. Same thing for insurance companies. because then the loss ratio isn't bad. It's actually
Yeah.
it'll be good, you know. So
That was valuable. I've always wondered,
nah, it's real.
I, yeah, what they're pulling from, or how they come up with their quotes.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, they're using LexisNexis. Yeah, I have a LexisNexis with my business. So
So can we freeze our Nexus Lexus, and then will it still be a proper quote?
I don't know. I never. That's a great question. I never thought of that. You know, I don't know, but sometimes even if you did that, the system might be like not enough information. They probably ask for your social security number.
Wow.
You know,
Okay,
your
gotcha.
social security number. So some way they gonna find out if you insured. You know.
Yeah.
So with that being said, would that freeze be similar to if you locking your credit? Because if you lock, because I keep mine locked, man. And every time I go to apply for something, I have to tell them, hold up, let me unlock it, and then you do what you need to do, and I go back
This
down.
is a little off board, but now that you say that, and we have the credit guru on here, like speaking of lock, Equifax, I don't know what happened to my Equifax. So we need to talk about it because, like, literally a year ago, it was like this whole situation where that lock thing is, but now it's like I'm trying to say, hey, this is me. What's up? And it's still saying, oh, you need to send a picture, you need to take a fax. I did all these things. I still heard nothing back from Equifax. So it's like my Equifax doesn't even exist, but it exists. So like I don't know what's going on with that.
So you have a no score right now.
And I had one just literally today, a year ago. I had a score, and now today I don't have a score. That's weird.
We, we'll
So
we'll we'll look at it afterwards.
yeah, we definitely need to talk. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know about I don't know if the LexisNexis, it's weird, man, because anybody can get access to LexisNexis. I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Hey, I got a question, man. Just you may not even have to deal with this, but I'm thinking about the mindset of a lot of entrepreneurs in our community,
Hmm.
and a lot of them are self-made, man. They got
Hmm.
their own startup money, their own experience, and I know a lot of them are leery or they think insurance is something that they can
Oh
overlook.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, like, do you deal with that? And if so, what's your pitch to people to explain the importance of having that?
Honestly, man, like I deal more so with people hate insurance because they don't understand insurance, right? Insurance at the end of the day equals protection, right? That's like you sitting in the car. That seatbelt is insurance because it protects you just in case something happens to that car.
Yeah,
You're protected. Like it stops anything from having the impact anything from happening to you. And I tell them, I'm like, I educate them on insurance. So then when you educate them on it, they understand it because you can't. Everything in this world has insurance attached to it. You can't live in a place you stay in without insurance. You can't get a car without insurance, right? Money has insurance on it just in case. Trip protection has insurance on it just in case something happens, right? Like
yeah,
everything you do, buildings, everything, because it's liability risk, right?
yeah,
Stuff happens. So
yeah.
I
And
tell them
that's what we deal with. It's one of those things like you never use it or never need it,
until you
for
need it.
years and years, and then at one time. And you just hear the stories of how it literally bankrupt people or it,
Yeah,
made them homeless, because they didn't have
they
the
didn't have
proper
it.
coverage.
Listen,
Yeah,
I'll tell you this, and my vehicle was stolen here, and like I had got robbed here leaving dinner. True story. November 25th. I insure my own vehicles because I'm my own insurance agency, my jury, everything, renter's insurance, all that. Like the fact that I had it, and when I filed the claim within 2 weeks, I was made whole. This was before Christmas now. So it's holidays, things are getting closed. And it's just like, yo, thank God I had the proper coverage,
Wow.
the proper liability limits. Like I was like everything that I spent was given back to me. And I've never had to use insurance until that one time. And
yeah,
I told him, I'm like, hey, like I asked him, like, if you're a business owner, how important is your business to you? Oh, it's my baby. It's my bread and butter. Okay. So that case, how important is having the right limits and the right protection, right? So you're a business owner, I say you need to at least have 100, 300 auto insurance protection. to start out. Most people got 250, 500, and they don't even own businesses. They just smart. They like, yo, if somebody hit me living in Atlanta, Georgia, I want to make sure I'm overprotected, right? But those are the good households. And I tell them, I'm like, look, somebody break into your business, vandalize, a machine goes wrong, you can insure equipment, like whatever it may be that's important to you that keeps your business afloat. Hell, employees. You get a key person insurance policy. If something happens to that employee that's generating so much revenue that helps your business grow, then you have that right there in place to pick up where they left if they get sick, they pass, God forbid, pass away, anything. That IUL I was telling you about. You can get an index universal life policy on your business, right? So then say I get a $500,000 policy on my business. Within 2 weeks, I can say, all right, I want to take $100,000 out and I want to open up another business, or I want to invest more in my business to help it grow. That's your money. It's tax free. You get a whole $100,000 check. That's legally double dipping. Say I got retirement. I want to take my retirement fund. I want to put it in here. You can do that because it's index.
Hmm.
Man, I
Can
am
you
glad.
They've been
explain
doing this
that
for
index a
years.
little bit more?
They've been doing
Uh,
this for years, though.
I that's this
You
is
know what
why
I'm saying?
this is exactly why I wanted you to come on this show, because I want people to see how you can utilize resources for anything, but more so me. I'm more so of real estate. Like you
Yeah.
can move this money around and to get. Please explain. Please elaborate on
So
that,
let's
Rodney.
take real estate. So
Please.
say you got your real estate business, boom, boom. You say, all right, I want to get this IUL. You go through the logistics, blah, blah, blah. And then you say, all right, say I want to do, keep it small. Say I want to do a $50,000 IUL on my business. You already know, all right, once I get that money, that's free money. I'll pay into this life policy. That's free money that I can take and advance my real estate business even more. So say you want to take 15,000 out and put it into different projects. Say you want to take 15,000 out and say, all right, I got a partner that's got an investment group. We want to go and get, $150,000 lot, right? Land. And we want to build 12 homes on there, but the investment may be 15 to 20,000 for y'all, and then y'all get investors on. You can take that money to do that, right? Take money to make money. You see what I'm saying? And you
Yeah.
won't be penalized for it. Like
Really?
I'm already doing. I'm already. I told you, I'm setting up mines because now I just got licensed in Texas, so I can say, all right, cool. I want to go open up an office and take like a storefront location in Texas, so we have visibility there. I'm not. I'm gonna go right into that IUL.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? It's my
Yeah.
money. And then if you got kids, that IUL can pay for their college tuition. They can start a business when they get older. They can buy a
Yeah.
house. They can create assets.
Yeah. So what are the rules? What limits them from? What would make someone not able to take that money
That's a
out?
good question.
Nothing. It's yours.
So
Okay.
how long do you have to have it before you can move it around? Or
Soon as you sign the paperwork.
I'm telling y'all. I've been telling
like,
people.
like, look up an index universal life policy. Like, I'm not even playing. They don't tell, like, trust me. It's the legal way
And you
to
know
do
why?
it.
Well, the reason why I'm
Legal.
asking it because like people want to take 401k loans and it's a limit,
yeah.
and then
Why?
you got
Why do
all
that?
that.
You get taxed
Yeah.
on that, everything. Why would you do that? I would take my 401k out and put it in the IUL.
You would?
Yeah, because you could say, all right, all right, at this age I want to retire. I have this IUL plus my 401k. I want to be paid, retirement $10,000 a year. Okay? Cut a check like
And when
that.
you pull it out, it's no penalty. No penalty.
It's tax free, bro.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
That's a game changer, man. Yeah, man.
yeah,
You
Right.
talking about having to
Tax
get
free.
the important information out there? That
yeah,
right there is huge.
yeah. I'll send y'all some information. I'll send y'all some information.
Yeah.
You can look it up as well, but I'll send y'all some information. My man said, yeah, ATL has been having high car thefts these days.
Yeah.
That's true.
Rodney, when I tell people about that IUL, man, they look at me crazy and say, "Man, come on, that ain't real." I'm like,
That's what
man,
the
this is,
Fortune 500 comes. Like, come on, man. Like that's what they do. That's what they do.
and I try to tell people, I say, especially if you run into a little bit of money,
Mhm.
it's good because you you borrow from that policy, correct? It's like they you use it as collateral.
Yeah. So if you don't pay it back, then the benefit becomes. I said 500,000 becomes 400,000. It just,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So you don't pay it back, you just don't pay it back. Now, if something happens, they're gonna issue out. You might have signed it for 500,000, but they're gonna send you 400,000 or whoever because you took 100,000 out
for the beneficiary.
for the
So
beneficiary.
they basically just whatever you take, they just deduct from that
They
policy.
just deduct from that policy.
Wow.
Correct.
See,
yeah.
and that's
Wow.
what man, I'm telling you, that is major. That
Mhm.
deal, oh man, like
Can I
I,
get
Yeah.
signed up tonight?
I now I
Say,
know you said earlier about the requirements, but is there like because this
you-
is attached to a policy, right?
yeah, but you don't like. I'm doing it on my business. You can just do one. You don't have to have a business to do it on. You can just do it regular. IUL policy, just like you. If you want an IUL life policy, just like a universal life policy or a term life policy or whole life. I'm just doing it on my business because my business is generating revenue, and then it's a business write off because my business pays for it, so it's a business write off. It's tax
Oh
like
wow.
part of my tax. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. So then I just pay for it through the business. So again, it doesn't come physically out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like my business pay for it. It's a business write off. Hey man, you got to get like them.
Yeah. It
I'm
ain't
trying
just
to.
about knowing the
I ain't
rules,
paying
man.
taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
need
Oh,
always. So
Yeah. Good deal, man.
yeah,
Good deal.
yeah.
that's so some Kenneth got a question. So can a living trust own that kind of policy?
What, like, is it a trust fund?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what I believe that's what he's saying. Like a trust fund, can you put it
Nah.
in a trust? Okay, so it has to be either like in I guess in a person or a business.
Yeah, you can. Oh, can you put an IUL on the trust fund, or does he want to put his trust fund money into an IUL?
Hey, Ken, if you can,
Can a,
go ahead and give us some clarity on that question.
yeah.
While he's typing, I do have a quick question. Can you switch it over? So say a person doesn't have a business, but they're starting up their business. But they already have the IUL on their person. Can it be
Oh, can they
transferred
put it?
over?
Can they get it on a business?
Can they transfer it over once
I
their
don't know.
business is started?
I mean, I could find out. I could
That's a
find
good
out.
question.
Yeah,
Or
that's
is it
cool.
just good to just have two different ones on your person plus the business?
Or just do a UL on the person and then do an IUL on the business. Because remember, the
What?
IUL is the index. So then that way it's still dealing with the S&P 500, like the stocks, so you can pull money from your 401k and stuff like that. The UL is just the UL policy, a universal life policy is like whatever that number is what that number gonna be. Yeah, after a certain amount of time, you can pull from it, and it has accelerated benefits. So if you miss some payments, the benefits, the monthlies will pay for itself and stuff like that. Then it goes for a certain period of time. So yeah.
Cool.
So
And
with
is
that,
is this better than, I'm so
no,
sorry.
no, no. Go ahead, Ashley, because I got one after this. Go ahead.
Mine is in reference to term life and whole life, which I never understand those. Um, but is I mean, do you choose one over the other, or like, what's your
Oh, so
preference of
so
all
so the
three?
break. So all right. So life insurance policy. At the end of the day, let me just say this: it's not about preference because you can want the best, but it's about pockets, what you can afford, right? So the fancier the name, the more the premium gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So like a term life is probably like one of the easiest low cost life insurance policies you can get, right? So you can get a term life if you 28, 25, 24, 30, 39, whatever, and non-nicotine, got good health on you. You can range anywhere from $16 to $50. and that can be $100,000 policy to $1 million policy.
Hmm.
Yes, on your age, right? The older you are, the higher it might be. Term life, whole life is different. Um, Term life is once it expires, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So the whole life, you get a policy, it goes through your whole life, just like that. You can use that for final, like if you need funeral expenses, got money in it, you take money out, you paying and stuff like that. The UL similar to whole life, but also you can, draw against that, right? Funds for the kids, college tuition, you know, they want to do something with it. IUL, you can put it on your business, you can transfer 401k over. Same thing, college tuition, start a business, stuff like that. So I would personally, I have a UL and a term, right? And then I'm about to get this IUL. And the reason why I have that, I don't have any kids, but I have a lot of nieces and nephews. So like I got them as beneficiaries. Like so, my term life is a lot more money. UL is a good amount of money, and then it's IUL. So
Okay. Hey, but when you take this money out, there's no requirement to pay it back, though,
there's no
right?
requirement in the IUL or UL.
So
Right.
does
Your money.
your policy, I mean your premium or whatever you pay in monthly, does all that change?
Nah, if you take it out, it's still what you paying, but it's just you taking money out. Like you taking your own money. It's your money. You paying for it.
Yeah.
You
I was
insure
just thinking like if I ain't paying it back, but originally had $1 million policy, why am I still paying
because
that
it's
much?
not
Same
about
money.
the whole policy is about taking care of somebody else when something happens, right?
Hey man, I need my coins.
My
That's all.
man
Hey,
Flex, the
that's a good
producer,
question
trying
though.
to get it in.
Hey
I need
man,
all
we need
that.
to know.
Hey, but
Yeah,
it's a good investment tool though. That's how people
Yeah,
use it.
yeah, it's an investment
yeah,
tool. Yeah,
I'm telling you.
How the
yeah.
rich get rich and the poor get poor because we don't know nothing.
Yeah, facts. Life
Yeah.
insurance. I'm telling you, that's what they did. Like they do that on their kids. They like listen. No lie. When I worked at State Farm before I opened up my own, and like the guys that worked there with me, they were of other color, white males, but they had like 10 pays, 15 pays, and they had them so they might be 28. They get a 10 pay policy on themselves in 10 years, nothing happened. They cash out 38. Like it was smart
yeah.
because and then they had
Wow.
their term and stuff like that. And I'm just like, why you got this 10 pay car? You ain't got no kid. Oh, because I can do such and such or blah blah blah. And I'm like, wow. So
What's a tempeh?
it's just another way. So it's just State Farm's way of talking about life insurance policy. So it's the same thing as a universal life policy. Just a 10 pay
Yeah,
pay policy. You only pay for 10 years or 20 years, then you get that money and stuff like that. So you put money into it. So and it creates a cash value that you can withdraw from. So
yeah,
it's just that language at State
yeah.
Farm. So
Hey, Kendall got some clarity to his question that he had earlier about the trust. I don't know if you see it on the screen here.
okay. So So all right, what's his question? Can a living trust own that kind of policy? I've never heard of that, to be honest with you. I never heard of a living trust owning an index universal life. Never.
I guess he's thinking like if someone is what's the word over that trust and they can't have
Yeah.
a policy for that trust. Is that what he's saying?
I mean he can get it IUL if that's
Yeah,
what he's asking. He can
but
get
it's
one.
gonna be the individual though, not for the actual trust, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I've never heard of IUL being, covering the trust fund.
Mm,
And it
Yeah.
probably very well can. I'll just have to look into that because in my field we talk about business and then individual life policies or business policies. So IULs for businesses.
yeah.
I've never
Okay.
heard about trust fund, but I can look into that and get back to y'all, and y'all can let Kenneth know.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
appreciate that question, Ken. That was a good
Thanks,
one.
Kenneth.
Yeah,
That was
that
a good
was.
one.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people have trust
Yeah.
and that's so so hold on, what do you say? So you sell the
That's,
business insurance. Yeah. Nay says so you sell the business insurance.
Hey,
Yup.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Nay
Where
was
they
on
at?
here. I believe Nay, where
Nay
you?
here in Texas. She's in the Longview area.
Okay.
In Texas?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, you up in Texas now, so you can show cover that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can cover that. So that's auto, life, uh,
Home,
home.
renters, business,
Eh.
commercial.
Hey, I got some beef with the insurance industry, man. Not you specifically.
I
But,
knew it was coming, y'all. I knew it was coming.
yeah, man.
I knew it was coming.
Oh,
So, a few years ago, I bought my daughter a car,
Uh,
and she had a wreck. And from the looks of it, it didn't look bad. We're thinking it's going to be some minor damage. And I even considered, just from what I was seeing, like, you know what? I'm not even filing this. I'm going to pay for it out of pocket.
what they
Pocket.
total lost it or something?
Yeah, and they totaled it, and I'm like, hold
Yeah,
up. And they say like, yeah, when it gets to 80% or something like that, the
yeah.
insurance company can take it. And I'm like, man, for me to pay in all this money, I just feel like the consumer gets the short end of the stick.
I'm gonna just tell people, man. This is what I tell. Like, I mean, insurance. All this is non-necessary. It's like taxes, yo. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We know how it was created, why it was created. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: if you ever get into a situation like that again, and you see that, like, man, I'm not about. Don't I tell people don't file a claim. If it ain't nothing crazy, don't file it because it's gonna go against you whether it's your fault or not. It's gonna show up on your record as a at fault or a non at fault or a comp claim. Stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're judged on it. Just if it's something you can take care out of pocket, go ahead and take care of it. I mean, hell, somebody hit my little truck in the bed side of my pickup truck, and I'm like, I'm not about to file this. I went and got it praised, $1,500. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go ahead and knock it out myself. I don't know who did it because when I came out, I saw it, but it wasn't the juice isn't worth the squeeze at the end of the day. So I just went on here and took care of it.
Yeah.
So now, if it's
So
like stuff where it's smashed in or like crazy, file that claim.
Yeah.
yeah. So they saying I could have kept it if I want to, but they was telling me by law that they
So
can.
they gonna give you a salvage title, but then if you try to go get insured somewhere else, they gonna find the history on it and be like, oh well, this car has a salvage title. Why is that? Blah blah. It's gonna be a limit. In Georgia, they call that a limit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
But
it's
I didn't
something
have to
to
give it
that.
up if I didn't want to.
Huh?
So I didn't have to give it up.
Hmm.
So Geico lied to me. They was like,
We
by
talk.
law.
Don't even get me. Listen, bro. I'm not even about to look. I'm not
don't
even
even
about
talk
to have
about
this.
the
Listen,
lizard. They're lizard
Not the
for they're
lizards.
lizard for a reason.
listen.
Yeah, they
I'm
did
not
both,
even about to
man.
look. I'm gonna just keep my mouth closed,
Yeah.
yo.
Hey, this is what they said. Said they're a whole lot saying you can't keep it by law. Man, they
Yeah.
deboed me, man, and I got a good mind. I ain't got no money to sue, but that was jacked up. That was
I ain't
jacked up.
about to.
But so when they if you do that and you keep it, the insurance companies what they'll just insure it at a higher rate or something.
No,
If
you
that
just still insured. You just go get it fixed on your own. He's
no, I'm
gonna.
talking about. But if it's a savage title though.
Oh well, we won't be able to. Only like we would have to get the car history report because I went through this probably 2 or 3 times, but they wouldn't even insure it. You know, they was like they would insure it. They come back to oh, this car is a salvage title. The history on it's a lemon. So if they did do it, it would be at a higher rate. But I mean, I'm not in the business to get over on people. I'm just like, hey man, like can't help you. Like I'm honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Honest
But
with
there
you.
are people that will insure though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. You can
Okay.
get this non-standard. Like it's different companies out here that will insure. That write the policies on those.
Yeah.
Independent agencies can write the policies on those. So I have a captive agency. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the lines is blurred, like teetered a little bit when it comes to captive, like also AAA, State Farm, Geico, Progressive, Farmers. We all captive agencies. But like when you got independent agencies, then they have brokers from all type of insurance companies, standard, non-standard, and stuff like that. So
Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Got
yeah.
another question here from Mr. Kenneth. Keep the questions coming, Ken. We appreciate it. But he said, "What made you jump from State Farm to open your own agency in AAA?"
Well, I did the State Farm thing years ago. I was a sports agent, NBA agent. So a lot of my mentors were either in the sports business or the insurance business that were black. So, and we would go off and they would tell me like, one in particular, like, hey man, like you ever leave the sports business, you should jump in the insurance business because you'll be good at it. Blah blah blah. It's less of a headache. As far as dealing with athletes, you can make money while you sleep, residual, and you can educate people. He was basically giving me the whole breakdown, and he owned a State Farm. But what he didn't tell me is that he was basically a 1099 contractor with State Farm. State Farm owned it, but he was still an employee, but his name was on the door. So I went and started
Mm.
at State Farm just to get my feet wet to start getting insurance because I drank the Kool-Aid because State Farm is plastered everywhere, thinking that, oh, they got basketball arenas, blah, blah, blah. But that's not necessarily true. They spend $1 billion in advertising, but everything else is subpar, right? So I went and worked and learned it because I feel like their systems is like the hardest ones to learn, like from the interface, the system and processes, billing, quotes, like whatever it may be. And once I mastered that, like I did really well. And I had every other agency, Allstate, Progressive, Geico, Farmers, AAA, recruiting me to open up my own agency. And I wanted to own 100% of my book. We talk about ownership and talking about being able to put somebody on or bring family members up and have them under your tutelage in your business and you make all of the rules. You can do that. And that's why I ultimately chose them. And they were new. They were in Georgia for probably 3 years. So I was like, all right, here's my chance to not be in a field where it's saturated with State Farm and all them. And I can actually be the number one, black owned business in the state of Georgia, which I did and I am, So I one of the top agencies in the whole country at AAA. The 125 agencies, I'm probably inside the top 20 now. You
Oh
know,
wow, man.
yeah, black owned.
Good deal, man.
I
Good
appreciate
Yeah.
deal, brother.
it.
Man,
Number one,
major
Yeah,
plug.
AAA
yeah,
agency in the state of Georgia, life and auto. So that's huge. So that's what it was, man. And then being able to have my name on the building, so
yeah.
and own it. Like in 2 years, 3 years, if I wanted to get it to my nephew, I can.
Good
But if I
deal,
wanted,
man.
I can do that at State Farm. I would have to give it back to State Farm, and they would just
Yeah,
cash me out.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that's major, man. So, man, how can people get in touch with you, man? I believe I got your. Let me know if that's your correct
Yep,
information there.
yep, yep, yep. That's the office line. My email is rblackstock at acg.aaa.com. And then, my Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So my name on Facebook. So,
Okay.
But they can reach you directly at that number right there,
yep,
right?
yep, yep,
Okay,
yep,
because as usually I tell people, hey man, call, or text me, or that.
yep,
Hey, that's I be running a lot, so the best
yeah,
way
Yeah,
to get in touch with me. If I don't pick up, text me. I'll hit
yeah.
you right back. I might be doing something, but man,
yeah,
I'm glad you came on, man, and just
I
provided that
appreciate y'all,
that
man.
information, bro, because people really need to know that. Like, I look at it as, I mean, I know you have to have the insurance. We have to have it, period. But
Yeah,
I look at it as an investment tool, the way
hmm
you can use it as an investment tool to
hmm
kind of
yeah,
invest in things that you want to do that you probably couldn't do, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
Hey, this probably dumb question, but your rates they competitive with the
yeah. They're
industry state?
competitive. Here in Georgia, it's super competitive. Everybody takes a rate change, and the rate change is determined by a loss ratio, and then b what the other companies are doing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's how they determine. Yeah, but we
Okay.
have pretty good rates.
Quick question. Just a thought, since the pandemic is still somewhere in the world. Somewhere. Sorry about that, y'all. Somewhere in the world it's out there. Have you seen an influx of clients post pandemic?
Oh, people coming in. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like people getting policies, of
Oh
course a lot
yeah,
of people
yeah.
pass. So
Honestly, like it's been doing really well during the pandemic and post pandemic. So a lot of people are getting life policies. A lot of people are buying cars. I mean, there's so much PPP money out here. People going crazy. You
right,
know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So they got to get insurance. So it's been really good though. Like um, I mean, people at the end of the day, taxes, insurance, rent, living, eating, these things are going to kind of still go. Regardless, people are going to find a way to do this. People are going to find a way to pay their rent. People are going to find a way to pay their insurance. Whatever it is, like they're going to find a way to shop. So like it never amazed me. I live right across from Phipps Mall, and I go in there, to eat, brunch, and it's like the Gucci store line is like all the way to the end. I'm like, hey, where all this money at? Like y'all know I own the insurance agency around the corner, right?
Right, right.
Forget them shoes.
Uh,
Hey, we
So
have to help you advertise, man. Market, get your name out there a little bit more.
yeah, so,
For sure, for sure. So, hey, that's
yeah.
hey, our podcast watchers, man. If you watching, you need insurance. I think you owe it to yourself. You do that yearly anyway, but anytime you hear someone out here starting businesses, I just think it's
mhm.
worth your time to go out and see, you know, if you can save a dollar here and there. That's
Shop
one thing.
around. Even if you
Yeah,
got car insurance, still shop around. You won't know if you
yeah,
save money until you get a quote. And then getting a quote, make sure you like honestly, if you can get more cover, double the coverage for the same amount of money or less, it's worth it.
yeah,
You don't want to be underinsured out here at all. People
yeah,
say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I just need liability on that." Nah, brother, get that full coverage. Get
Yeah.
5100 limits.
Straight up.
yeah,
Don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. You feel me?
yeah,
You gonna be in line for that Popeyes chicken or something, that snack pack. Get that good
yeah.
coverage.
And with that being said, I think the caveat is what you can afford, and you kind of alluded to that earlier. I
Yeah.
know, just nature of, we talked about this on the show last year about the income gap between,
hmm hmm
certain dynamic demographics of the country. So sometimes they can't, but I'm sure that you'll go sit down with them and tell them like, hey,
Yeah.
this is what you could cut back on, and this is
Yeah.
what you shouldn't cut back
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. That's part of
Yeah,
the education. You know.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
good deal, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, bro, man, we really, man, I that
Appreciate
was
that.
solid information, man. Like
yeah,
you always bring it, so
Yeah.
I always have no doubt about that, bro. But I'm just glad that you can bring it today, man, and educate people, because
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
that's our thing, man. We like to we our goal is to educate people and get them motivated to do it, not just talk about it, because
yeah,
we've done a lot of that through the years, man. It's time to move now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
yeah.
So you
Absolutely.
know, bro, we appreciate you come on, and
Appreciate
everybody
that.
that's watching us, remember you can join us on Facebook and YouTube as well. But this is my man Rodney, Blackstock Insurance Agency. His information is at the bottom. Give him a call if you need any type of quote on home, life, auto, any type of insurance you could think of. Hell, if he'll get your answer, so don't worry about
Yeah.
that. All you got to
Yeah.
do is call him at that
Yeah.
number below. So,
Yes, Lord.
um,
I
man,
appreciate you.
yes, sir. With that being said, man, like I said, man, we appreciate you for coming on and giving that valuable information, man. And if anybody got anything else, you need to ask real quick before we get up out of here. This man got to get ready to get on the flight. He got
Yeah.
business in another state, so
Yeah.
we don't
Hey,
we
got
respect
those
his
good
time.
problems. Hey, he got those good problems, man.
Yeah, he do, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
look like it's it. Terrence, we'll connect. Ash, Flex the producer, we're gonna tap in. So when I
hey,
get
man,
back, let's tap in next week.
I'm
yes,
coming to see
sir.
you, bro. And see if you can beat USAA.
Oh, I'll be killing all day. You ain't even about come on, man.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah,
I'll be killing
I'm
all
definitely
day.
gonna get with y'all offline because
Yeah,
I need one of
Yeah,
them policies.
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Right,
So we'll
right.
talk. Let me get through this the rest of this week, and then
Sir.
next week we'll talk. I need to get with you anyway, Ash. So we'll tap in, and
yeah.
y'all be safe, man. Have a blessed weekend.
Likewise,
Right
man.
on, bro.
Appreciate you,
Y'all
brother.
have a good one.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Do it for you. Baby, don't forget the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I mean the floor is yours. If it comes to the floor